Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Cade, and tonight we're on the red carpet of A&E's Bonnie and Clyde. We'll be bringing you interviews with all the stars, so get ready for a fun night in the lab. Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Cade. I just saw you a couple weeks ago in Mealhurst because you had your movie, The Motel Life, out, but we're here because Bonnie and Clyde, everybody's been waiting for this. It looks awesome. Talk to me about playing one half of the most infamous couple of the 20th century.
I was fortunate enough that I was able to play the role uninhibited, meaning I had never seen, I confess, the Warren Beatty version. So I was able to just do my own research and read this great book called Go Down Together by this guy Jeff Gunn, and just put together my own characterization of what I thought Clyde was like based on photographs and testimonies in these books and my own imagination. I wasn't influenced by the movie. Shortly after I finished shooting, I watched the movie with Beatty and Faye Dunaway, and I loved it. I thought Arthur Penn's version was really great, but I was actually shocked at how different all the actors and performances were. I mean, we went in such different directions, and I didn't even know we were. For all I knew, Beatty was doing the exact same thing I was doing. It just happened to be different.
There is such a romantic association with the public and Bonnie and Clyde, even though they committed such heinous crimes. Why do we as the public love Bonnie and Clyde so much? Why is there that connection?
I think it's a genuine love story. It's doomed lovers. It's the classic kind of mythical tale in that sense of Romeo and Juliet. They go down together. They die in a blaze of glory, and they really love each other. But they express their love in these very abnormal, sociopathic, murderous ways that are it's insane.
When you'd mentioned preparing for the role, when you were preparing, what did you want your Clyde to be like?
I wanted him to feel believable. I wanted him to feel like he was a real person. I wanted him to feel authentic, and didn't mean ever being showy or too uninhibited. He was a coiled guy, he was kind of a tightly wound person.
Playing one half of the 20th century's most infamous couple, you seem so sweet. What was it like playing Bonnie of Bonnie and Clyde?
Super exciting and amazing, and she's just this like such a rich, gritty, complex character that is like something to really sink your teeth into. And she's such a sassy character that she's kind of always playing a role in herself and trying to emulate the glamorous movie stars that she aspired to be. And so it just felt fun. So there's an element that you could kind of play with it and just like be as sassy as you wanted to without it ever seeming really too much.
You go from Estella and the Borgias to Bonnie.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the difference of those two characters, because we go from a very period piece to now essentially the Wild West and murder and crime. Talk to me about that change of pace.
Well, I sort of feel that playing Estella in Great Expectations and Lucrezia and the Borgias was kind of, they were like training for Bonnie Parker.
It was like a combination between the two.
Yeah, I feel really blessed to have played these like strong, powerful women that were quite strong-minded and also quite self-aware in their own sexuality and able to manipulate situations. And I think Bonnie was like the epitome of that. But she also has this level of vulnerability and neediness to her, and her need for recognition from the public, but also her need for love from like her family and for Clyde, and so it's always fun to kind of juxtapose the two like levels of strength and vulnerability at once.
I just interviewed Emil for his last movie, The Motel Life. You got to work with him, and he's one of the best in the business, as well as William Hurt, Academy Award winner. Talk to me about working with two, really, of the best in the business.
I mean, it's a brilliant cast, and Holly Hunter was just absolute
Sarah
adorable
Hyland.
gem to work with. It really was. It was like, and Emil's so good. He gets so everything about Clyde is kind of different from him, but he plays it so naturally, and he really doesn't like to over-rehearse, and neither does Bruce, and so everything felt quite spontaneous and quite organic, and it felt like a kind of quite a fluid and fun process. And then having people like Holly Hunter around, she's just so generous and beautiful as an actor that she kind of took away all my nerves on the first day working with her, and I felt like it was going to be a really fun project.
Talk to me about playing Frank Hamer. You are the man who caught Bonnie and Clyde and finally brought them down.
haunted him. Well, he's an interesting character in history. I'm not so sure this portrayal of him is a docudrama of his life. He's personally he never sold out. He wouldn't sell his stories for money, although he made very little money. He was just as offended by legal bad guys as he was by illegal bad guys, and carried himself with a good deal of restraint and elegance, I thought. This particular version of him is more the icon, the avenging angel type, and so I think that's different, but interesting guy.
What is the connection still to this day, 80 years later with Bonnie and Clyde? Why is the public still so fascinated with this couple?
Love born out of hardship, striving for transcendence, striving for something legitimate that goes haywire and ends up eating itself and a bunch of other people. People understand what it's like to try to pull themselves out of a cesspool with love itself. And they do feel for people whose love is contorted by pressure.
We are now in the golden era of television. Obviously, you have A&E, who's one of the best producers of content out there. Talk to me about going to cable and being able to put this project together on A&E and simulcasting it with their 3 other networks in this age that we live in right now.
It's pretty amazing. It's something because I come from features.
Yep.
And in the day when I was, for the first 20 years, features would go wide, it was conceivable. And now what's happened is TV is actually giving us more of a break, cutting us more slack to prepare roles and character and ensemble. And to have it actually, we were all afraid that the audience would be dispersed entirely, that they would all go home with their separate DVD or their separate video, and then be having their own idiosyncratic, kind of claustrophobic life. But the fact is there's going to be a simultaneous audience for this. And that's a comfort,
Talk to me about telling the story about the most infamous couple of the 20th century.
Well, I played Buck Barrow, Clyde's older brother, and it was just an amazing story to be a part of. Bruce Beresford directed the piece, and it's phenomenal. But, every day getting to show up and put on a hat, put on a 3-piece suit, getting a Tommy gun or a BAR, showing up for a shootout or a car chase or a police chase, it was heaven. It wasn't work. And we spent 3 months down in Louisiana shooting this, and we all became very close. And I'm so happy with the final product. I hope everyone enjoys it.
Not a huge change for you, because coming from Prison Break, you're now in another crime thriller.
Yeah, I can't get away from the law.
You can't get away from shooting
I can't get
and
away
crime.
from cops in real life and on screen. So
Why are Bonnie and Clyde still so popular? Why is this romantic connection with the public and this couple?
Well, I think that people are intrigued by the romance, first and foremost, and how far this couple was willing to go for each other. Unfortunately, it was murder. It was robbing banks. So there was a bit of glitz and glamour and mystery and intrigue on top of the romance, and I think that's what intrigues people about it.
You play Ted Hinton. You help capture Bonnie and Clyde, the most infamous couple of the 20th century. Talk to me about being part of the retelling of this story about a couple that everyone's familiar with. For the wrong reasons.
For the wrong reasons. For the wrong reasons, for the right reasons, for all sorts of reasons, I guess. It was pretty great because you feel obligated to tell the story in a certain way where you get the facts right. And also it's a retelling of a legend. I mean, every story out there, the facts are rebuted, and they don't know if what's really real and what's not. It's all what people say. So we get to tell our own version of it, which is great as an actor. You get to come up with some things, but at the same time, you're playing a real guy, so you have a duty to do the best you can to portray that.
You and Hamer work together to capture this couple. It's the Wild West. Talk to me about the relationship with you and Frank in the movie, and who is obviously William Hurt, Academy Award winner, one of the best.
It was William Hurt?
It was William Hurt. Crazy, right?
That's why he was so good.
You're like, this guy can act a little bit.
Yeah, he's really good. That's great for me because his character was kind of a teacher, who had been there and done that before, and kind of mirrored real life in a bit. So I got to learn as the character in this film. And in the story, the law was always 2 steps behind Bonnie and Clyde. So when his character comes in, he kind of brings everyone up to speed in his own way. And of course, my character still had feelings for Bonnie, and he had feelings for the family. And when his character comes in, the feelings kind of go away to do the job. So that's when I get to shoot guns.
Not a bad gig, right?
It's fun. The good thing they're blanks, I'm not a big supporter of it, but yeah, it's fun.